How many countries separate Norway from North Korea? The answer will surprise you. Norway borders Russia and North Korea borders Russia as well. So Russia is the only country that actually separates the two. And this is because of Norway's border with Russia, which you can see already over here. I haven't had to zoom in much, and you can already see it. So that's pretty clear. But the border with North Korea is actually very small, and it actually looks like it's non-existent. If you zoom in all the way here, you can see these pretty weird borders along with all of these other lines. So it's pretty hard to make out, but and that's actually a very small distance. So I'm just going to keep the cursor there and zoom out so you can see just how small it is. It's only this much. And if you go so that you can just see the Koreas and a bit of Eastern Asia, you'll see this much. The cursor already covers the border completely. And if you zoom out a bit more for like most of Asia, you can't even see the border anymore. It's just completely covered by the cursor. So that's a very small border. But technically, even though they're on different sides of Eurasia, Russia separates Norway from North Korea. Okay, so clearly Russia, it's a massive country, and in fact, it's so big that its surface area could cover Pluto. Its surface area is greater than Pluto's. But did you know that this little piece of land over here is also a part of Russia? You may have thought that it's a Baltic state like Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, but it's actually Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is an exclave of Russia, uh, and this is actually very important for Russia, even though it's pretty small, because it gives Russia its only European ice-free port. But before I go on, please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications. It really helps me out and it keeps on motivating me to make these videos. So please consider doing that. But let's continue now. So this is of course one pretty important exclave and you might not have even heard of it. But there's another one which might shock you even more. Now, if you just look at maps, you might have seen that France has a pretty big border with Spain, another one with Germany, Italy, Belgium. But did you know that France's longest border is actually with Brazil? And that's because of this territory called French Guiana. As it says, French Guiana, of course, it belongs to France, it's French. Uh, and this border might look a lot smaller than the border over here, but that's because of flat maps. On flat maps, the things, all the territory near the equator, it gets shrunk so that it fits because the Earth is wider at the equator, obviously. So they inflate the stuff at the north. For example, Greenland, it looks like it's big enough to cover Africa, but it's not anywhere near that. It's actually a lot smaller. And if I go to the website called thetruesizeof.com, thetruesize.com, sorry, you can see that Greenland looks as big as that. But if you actually type Greenland and you move it down, so let me do that for you. If you move Greenland down and you shrink it, it's actually barely anything there. And if, in fact, if you zoom in, it's only about as big as the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and maybe even smaller than that. Like Algeria, it's probably the same size as that as well. So it's actually not that big. It's just because of flat maps. And so if you take France and Spain and put them here and line them up, you can see that this is their border, and of course this isn't completely matched up. Like, and if you look at French Guyana over here, let me now get rid of Spain. I've gotten rid of Spain so you can see it a bit better. This is France's border, so that's the length of that, minus of course a small bit of Andorra. You can see that this border is a bit bigger. Speaking of Brazil, you might have heard that Brazil is one of the biggest countries in the world. But to show you how big it actually is, I've used the same website and I've moved the location of Brazil. From its easternmost point to its westernmost point, you can see not even westernmost point actually, just this point over here. Brazil, if you move it like that, it goes from Brazil all the way to Africa, which might not be too surprising. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if you go from the southernmost point of Brazil to the northernmost point of Brazil, that distance is smaller than the distance from Brazil to Canada. Yeah, if you move Brazil up here, it goes from Brazil all the way up to Canada. And to make sure that you can see that, this is Canada and it covers that. And the Brazil border is a bit smaller, but I'll still zoom in to show you. It's very small, but this is Brazil. You can see that it says Venezuela, Brazil, and this is clearly inside the Brazilian territory. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed these facts. I hope you found them interesting. If you did and you think others might also like them, please consider sharing my video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.